Welcome to the podcast for your spiritual growth.
Evolve,
align,
and embrace. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sophia.
Let's start.
Welcome to today's podcast, the first one in the new year in 2021. Last year was very, very challenging for all of us, and because of the circumstances, we all had to be more involved with the digital world and social media. So for today's podcast, we speak about how we can stay spiritually connected, mentally strong, and emotionally balanced while still using all the great benefits of social media and digital products. So I hope you enjoy and you take something out of this episode for your own use. I am so excited to talk about this issue. I think every one of us has experienced social media burnout before. And especially since I personally started my business, it has been tremendous times. And I think for myself, I had to really learn how to handle social media in order to make it useful to me and not that it is used against me and my energy. And so today we are talking about social media and spirituality. How is it possible to be a spiritual being and use social media, to have a business and use social media without burning out, and have a spiritual business with truly staying true to yourself while building a business that aligns with who you are. So we have a couple things to cover. Alex, do you want to start?
It's for me, myself, and I was thinking about that topic. And when I thought about spirituality, the first thing that popped into my mind was the fact that it's all about consciousness when we deal with social media, because social media and the intelligence of digitalism can take over quickly and do something to a human brain. But in the very end, we can all make our own decisions every day, every time, every second. And therefore we should be conscious of that. We should be aware of that. So when it comes to social media, the first thing you said before we started the recording was it would be the most helpful thing to use social media as a tool in our lives rather than it using us. And there are benefits to social media, to using social media as a tool in our life, since the world is built around social media and everything that comes across social media and reaches us. And because there's so much marketing opportunity on social media too. And also we can get so much information through social media, additionally to mass media.
Yeah. Can I say a but?
Yeah.
Because yes, having a lot of information is amazing. But first of all, a lot of information on social media, it could be false. We never know if this information is actually right because it comes from sources that are not verified. So first of all, whatever information you get from social media, don't take it as, oh, that's the truth. Research it if that's the truth, and if there's actually some back and truth behind that. And secondly, it can lead to overload information if we consume. So I think, again, this, as you said, being conscious, being aware of what you consume is also a very important part of this. Because I used to be a user without engaging, and I would just scroll, for example, IG, scroll, and consume other people's content. And sometimes I wasn't aware, or I wasn't really focused on, really being clear on what I want to see. And nowadays, it's really important to me that I only digest positive and encouraging content. And when someone comes off, when I see content that I wouldn't say not aligns with myself, but is taking me down energetically, that's a sign that I need to unfollow that account, for example. So I think, yes, information is amazing, but you need to know, you need to be aware of what this information is doing to you.
Therefore, consciousness, number one thing in our life and with everything. And since digitalism and social media are fairly new in our lives, we have to also use consciousness in that area. So we have to, as you said, realize, so how does that make me feel? Can I change something about it? Yes, I can unmute that person, that profile, or I can unfollow. Yeah, what's uplifting for me? What's too much for me? Do I have a feeling for how much I can use social media on a daily basis so that I feel energized enough and not too drained from all this input? Yes, definitely. So why do I use it in the first place? We should be aware of that. Why do I use social media? And which kind of social media? I mean, they are all a little bit, tiny bit different. And what do I get out of using social media? What does it give to me? How does it affect me? Like Sophia just said, how do I feel with what? Yeah, can I do something about it? How do I use social media? You can also use it in a way. We are going to come to that later. And also, do I know the good and the bad effects for myself, for me personally, when it comes to using social media?
Talking about the question, why am I using this platform? Why am I on here? If you have a business online, then you have a reason there. You have, okay, I am on here to build my business, which is a great reason. Sometimes you might only be there out of personal reasons, which is totally fine. But when you're on a platform just to consume content, I think it's so important to have set boundaries in place in order to not get to that point where you start to vergleichen.
To compare?
Yeah, where you don't compare yourself to others, and you have a timely limit, because often people are not aware of how long they spent on these platforms. And if you have an iPhone, I highly suggest that you do right now, if you haven't done that already before, go to your settings and then look at the screen time. And it will show you how long you have been on social media today, this past week, approximately, and it's mostly shocking. The first time I did that, I was like blown away. I had like 3 to 5 hours daily, 3 to 5 hours. And I wasn't aware of it, because I would always do it like on the side and just sit down and just, like just do it always on the side. And it takes away your attention span from what's actually happening in your life.
From real life, from real physical life, from the present moment. And remember, kids, remember the most powerful moment, the moment where you're the strongest and your purest self is the present moment in this 3D life, where you're really at that moment. So let's not let us be drawn and taken away from that powerful place of living, of being.
Yeah, totally. And that's, really sad. So what I do now, and what I think I've seen many people start doing that, which is amazing, is set a timer. When you go on social media, then know what you're doing there. Is it for you just to relax and just to kind of see what's going on? That's fine, do it. But go for 10, 20, 30 minutes if you like, but then stop. Have a timer on your phone, so oh, okay, I've been there 30 minutes. I think it's enough. Do it for your own good. And even when you have work on there, put a timer. Know what you're looking for, know what you're doing on this platform, because yes, this platform is amazing to grow a business because it is free of charge and you can just market your products, but then use it also as a tool, and don't just lose your time using this platform. I just wanted to say one thing about this using is, are you using or are you engaging? Because it's social media, right? So we should also use it socially, in that we connect to other human beings. Behind the profile is a human being. So if you just look at the outside and at the pictures, we all want to look a certain way. We all brand ourselves in a certain way, even if we don't know that. But we show a face that we like of ourselves on social media, and it is real, but it's just one part of who we are. And when we don't get to know the people behind the accounts, we just see one part of the picture, which is then an illusion of the whole life of that other person, which leads to comparison and not feeling good about ourselves because everybody else is so perfect. And it leads on and on. So I think engagement and connecting to other human beings on these platforms is what makes it so great, but we have to use it that way too.
Yeah, pin down, really be aware of how does it affect me. Do I start to compare myself much more, or do I feel like I find people in niches that are just like me? Because that's one of the, for me, good things about social media. I can find and meet people or learn about people and other people's way of living that are inspiring to me and that are feeding me. Just input that's just so amazing. I mean, that's how I found Sophia. We knew each other personally, but there was never a real connection or something. But through social media and through her expressing herself on social media and me expressing myself on social media, we started engaging, and there was so much we had to share, and we liked to talk about. And so the friendship the friendship and the connection that right now I have with the real human being, for example, like you, has been created through meeting each other again, another time of our lives, on social media, because she was engaging on social media as truthfully as can be. I was engaging. We were both learning from each other and also putting out our truths, and were interested in everything. So there is a chance of meeting people that are just like you and that can feed you and that you can take on in your life. For example. So and really be aware of, why do you look at those people? Why do you look at those feeds, at those profiles? And do they really make you feel good? Is it good mental input for you? Yeah. Other than that, for myself, I really need right now input for mental health. I just love that topic. Or for how to be a good mom, how to deal with big bums, and how to do exercises with big bums, or anything like that, like how to deal with how your body is changing after birth. This is something that I really am interested in, and there are destructive.
By the way, for someone who doesn't know, Alex is very, very pregnant.
I am, yes. I'm about to give birth in every day, every minute, any minute. Yeah, very big bump. So this is something my heart and my soul is just on a journey with, and I can use social media in order to learn more, but I can also find moms or accounts that are not really encouraging as well, but I can decide which one I'm going to follow and which one I'm going to look at and consume more, and not compare myself too much.
Yeah. And I think also a huge topic here is self-worth and knowing who you are, and staying truthful to yourself. And that's where, for me, the spiritual part comes in,
Yes.
whether it's in business or personally. Having a strong spiritual practice helps you to ground yourself in who you are, and appreciate yourself, love yourself, truly, like really love yourself. And so you don't have that comparison anymore. You don't have to compare yourself, or you don't lose self-worth when, for example, you don't get the likes that you hoped for, or you don't get the followers, or you see someone else and they seem to have a better life than you. When you are really grounded and centered in who you are, and you live your life, your actual life, the best you can, and you are happy and grateful, all the things that come with having a spiritual practice, then social media cannot trigger you anymore. Maybe, of course, like it happens to me still, even though I have a spiritual practice. I think it's easy that it will happen to you, but you can pull back. And again, as Alex just said, like, you can decide whether or not you want to be in that or not. And then you can come back to the realization, oh, okay, it's fine. Like, this has nothing to do with me, whatever. Like, if in business, online business is not turning out the way I wanted to be, it's not about who I am. It doesn't define my worth. And I can detach from the outcome of my business. I can detach from the number of likes or followers. Who I am on social media doesn't define who I actually am. And I think spirituality should always come before social media, in order to be able to use social media in which way you want to use it without burning out, or diving into depression after having a comparison breakdown, because it's happened to me, and I know it's happened to a lot of different women out there, and men, and it's normal. But when we know how to deal with it, we can stop that cycle and use social media for our good.
To just really come back to, let's use social media as a tool, and let's, first of all, in life, for starters, always start with us. How do I feel? How am I connected to myself? What do I think of myself? How am I rooted in myself? How much do I love myself? And everything that you do in life is connected to how you feel with yourself. And also, so is also social media. I also know how it feels. I just remember when I started dancing, and I was all of a sudden in a group of colorful dancers on stage and in rehearsals and traveling. I wasn't rooted in myself yet, and I was losing myself. I didn't know how to behave, who I am there, and it felt horrible. And thankfully, I found myself much more since then. And then all of a sudden, social media appeared. Yeah, now I know what my mission is. I know what I want in life. It can always change, but I know what I right now really want to focus on. And I can use social media in order to help myself to follow my vision and my mission. Yeah, and that's the spirituality probably that one can connect to social media, to anything in life, like things like social media.
Connecting to your intuition, basically, like having a spiritual practice, whatever it is, if it's meditation, visualization, journaling, going within of any kind, And understanding your inner world, or getting in touch with your inner world, is about also connecting to your intuition, connecting to what is right for me, right? What do I want in life, as you just said? Where do I see myself? Where am I heading? And when we know that, then it's so much easier to use social media as a tool, because then we have a goal in mind, like we have a direction, right? So we know what we're doing with it. If we're just using it mindlessly, there's no direction, there's the awareness, and the consciousness is lost, because there's no reason for us to be on there at all. As you said, like you right now are a lot engaged with pregnancy content and mental health content. And for me personally, for example, right now, I don't consume any content right now, which is really interesting. Like sometimes I catch myself scrolling, but most of the times I don't scroll anymore. I don't look at other people's content at the moment. I don't even listen to podcasts at the moment, because right now I feel the need to only connect to my inner world and
your own content.
To my own content. I am creating content, and for that I need to connect and touch base with my own intuition, because I know that it's in me. All the ideas, all the I just took actually a social media detox, and I, like, for 4 days, I think, I didn't touch social media. I didn't even go into my DMs or anything. I didn't open it, and it felt so good. And then every time I do this, I start to have an abundance of ideas and inspirations, and it's just spreading out of me, because it's like, this is what I want to do, this excites me, like I'm full of energy, and full of trying to use this platform the best I can, and spreading positivity, spreading like encouragement, and touching others in some way. And I can only do that when I'm really connected to myself. And when I'm using social media a lot, it happens that I start to get into, thoughts of other people, and I start to almost have the same thoughts as the content that I'm consuming. You feel, you know that?
I don't know. But it makes sense. I mean, everything that has been said, or that is being said, has been said once before already anyways. It's just said by another person who is interesting for other kind of people. So because Jenny probably consumes you more, is more likely to consume your content than mine, but Rebecca really likes how I talk to people, so I could say the same thing as you, but Rebecca would listen to me and Jenny would listen to you, blah blah blah, just because you're attracted to different kind of people. And yeah, I mean, it's all out there, all the information, and we can all connect to it on a telepathic, spiritual mind level anyways, and we have it in us all the time anyways. We don't even have to consume. It's true, because there's so much going on in our inner world. I haven't experienced it. I just don't know an example right now, but it makes total sense, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful that you have those amazing ideas that you find out other amazing, interesting people are also sharing.
And what you're sharing, if you're sharing what you're sharing, there should be like internal motivation to share that, right? If you're sharing something that somebody else said and you want to share it because it opened your eyes, then amazing. Right? I'm not saying that's not good, but if you're just sharing something because you saw that someone else is having, that's because someone else shared that, they had a lot of engagement, or you know, a lot of people were drawn to the content of that person, and you only share that content of that other person because you're like, oh, maybe that's gonna help me to be seen, kind of, then that's again acting out of a lack of self-worth, because you're only doing something because you want to be seen. But I think social media is about spreading higher thoughts, spreading, like, you know, or sharing deep things that can move other people. And so it's not about, once social media isn't about yourself anymore, but about the other people, when you're sharing something, that's, I think, when you are detached from social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's you having a message and you embodying something that just needs to get out, that is life inside of you, that needs to be lived. And if you use social media to share that, that's just amazing. And if you use social media just to be seen, then ask yourself why you want to be seen first. Yeah. So what I would say generally, if you want to find a way of dealing with it, and if you find yourself scrolling too much and comparing too much and getting lost in social media too much, which is totally fine, it happens to all of us very often. Don't judge yourself, don't be hard on yourself. What you can do is just every day, day by day, maybe in the morning, ask yourself, what do I want to do today? Who do I want to be today? What is on my to-do list for today? What is going to happen? And how do I want to feel with that? Like, how do I want to go to work? How do I want to feel at work? What do I need to feel a way, in a way, to feel myself in a good way, or to feel good? What do I need to relax? And who am I at work? Who am I at home? Who am I with this and that person? And just always try to connect to yourself in the mornings, and every time, every now and then in between. And then you will start using social media differently anyways. I'm 100% positive. And there are things you can do, like, yeah, unmute people or unfollow people, or find feed posts and input that is inspiring and uplifting, and focus more on that. There are so many things you can do on there. You can also experiment with how it would feel to detox and to not look on it for a couple of days or just one day. Yeah, just try it out, but never ever forget to touch base with yourself. And if you feel weird, if you don't feel good, also check in. Why, what's happening? What has done this stupid feeling? Yeah, because it is crazy. I mean, for me right now, very quiet. I'm at home. I don't go out a lot. I don't go to dance class anymore. I'm not around. I know how it feels to look on Instagram and to see what's all going on, and how many things you are missing, and where you're not part of because those people have been part of that. Or things where people, like pictures where people look amazing and you feel like, man, how do they do that? Yeah, I know how it feels. And if you feel bad about it, just check in with yourself, let it be there, that feeling, but also really realize and realize where that bad feeling is coming from, and know that you can change something about that. You can decide how to use social media, because you're the true master of your life, and social media can only be a tool.
Also, make it practical. I think having really really practical boundaries is what keeps that healthy relationship with social media. It's not a bad thing to be on social media, but you know, don't let it dictate your life. So be very, as you said, you're the master of your life. So you decide when you use it. This can also, don't be a user, don't use it like a drug because it can sometimes take over your life. Make sure, and these are just I have some guidelines that I use for my own life that that I help my clients get into their life, because that's a huge part of spirituality, I think, being able to decide what you want and when you want it, right? What's good for you, and what's not. So first of all, no phone in your bedroom. No phone in your bedroom.
Perfect.
Take it, turn the phone off and get away from social media before you go to bed. And don't let that be the last thing you look at before you go to bed. If you wanna, you can do whatever you want, but if you look at other people's lives before you go to bed, that will come into your dreams and then come into your life. You know, it comes into your subconscious. Then first thing in the morning, don't look at your phone first thing in the morning. You don't need that, right? Who, again, to Alex's questions, who do I want to be today? What do I want to do today? How do I want to feel today? All these things you can find out and do without a cell phone next to you, without social media. And when you feel good, then you want to be on social media, or you have to be for your work, then find a dedicated time. Make sure you have a limit to that time. Set yourself a timer, be on social media, and then take social media away again. If we constantly consume it on the side, it's involved in our consciousness, in our thoughts, in our behaviors, in our life. So if we have to make a conscious effort to say, this is something I'm using when I want to use it. I'm not gonna consume the whole time.
And then also this, you decide to, I just wanted to add, you decide when you use social media, right? What also helps is to not have messages popping up on your phone with sound. Notifications, to turn them off. You know, you have your WhatsApp, you have your, I don't know where you communicate, iMessage, everything. You have it on your phone all the time. You can open it at any time, but you can decide when to open it. Don't let the phone tell you, here is a notification, here's a message, please open me. You can also turn that off. I turn it off, and I always decide when I'm checking my messages. That
also includes mail,
yes.
Getting emails,
everything,
getting WhatsApp
Facebook.
messages, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Turn it off and then have a dedicated time. Okay, I'm using this time to check my messages. I'm checking them, I'm answering them. Done. I'm done with it, and I can go back to my life. That I encourage, I don't know if everyone is up for that, but once a week I do a 1-day social media detox. Once a week. You pick a day, and mostly it's like on the weekend for me, like Sunday. Our Monday is our Sunday. So either Sunday or Monday, I just put the phone aside for the whole day. I'm not going to check anything. I'm not going to be on there. Not going to consume, not create, and give my brain some space.
Yes. You can also just leave it at home when you go outside, right? Or put it in another room than where you are in.
You can have like a space for the phone where you always put it. And when you need it, you can take it. But otherwise, it has its place, like a book. Like, you know, you can use it when you need it.
Yes. It's not the extension of your arm.
Yeah, I sometimes find myself carrying this thing with me everywhere, to the bathroom, outside, when I drive, when I cook, when whatever I do, I have this, where's my phone? I need to have it next to me. And that's a sign that you should take a break.
Yeah, these are amazing handy tools,
Yeah.
handy
Yeah.
ideas of how to deal with social media and connecting back to you and not to a lot of people online.
So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I would love to hear what your experiences with social media overdose and
How you
whatever
deal with it
comes,
also.
yeah, how you deal with it, what kind of experiences you have, if you have any more ideas of how you can deal with it, for other users, for other people who listen, so we kind of can share that on our social media. And yeah, and just get in touch with us. We always love to hear from you about the podcast. And thank you so much for listening.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for spending time with us.
I hope this inspired you to look more into how you're using social media for yourself and how mental stability is important for every part in life, especially also for social media. Thank you for tuning in and hope to hear from you again. Bye. Lots of love. Bye-bye.